Let's get it. What's up, Chris?
Yeah, man.
What's going on with you?
It's been a minute, right?
Yeah, been a very long time, bro. To the point, I was telling him on the way up here, I was like, bro, I think I've been knowing Chris since like 2015.
Yeah.
That's a long time, bro. We got on the tour bus, did that video, I think it was 2020, he looked it up. And that's when we did that video. I was like, dude, it's been that long.
I haven't seen you since then.
Dude, what the fuck is up?
Yeah, man.
What's been going on, bro? I see that you did you got the tour bus, you got the band. Like, I know that's exciting on the road.
Let's start right there. So, when I was racing, I was the number 89.
Okay.
So my band was 89 Reasons.
Right.
I'm getting a little older now, and my brand is reasonably strong enough that it is. I think it's in my best interest to go on the road as Chris Lafferty or Chris Lafferty Music, rather than the 89 Reasons. 89 Reasons. So it's one of those scenarios where, and I'm not young anymore either, man.
Right.
Dude, I'm 47. So it's like I'm past my prime. I'm on the downhill slide. And so I got to take advantage of the name and the brand anywhere that I can.
Bro, with your racing, what made you even get into that? Because you're from California, right?
Yeah.
So what made you get into that? Your father raced?
No.
Nobody raced? Just you?
Just me.
Yeah, what made you get into that shit? That's just scary, bro. Look, me doing 100, my asshole puckering up. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you doing what? 250 plus?
Yeah, you're doing 180, 200, something like that.
Right.
But it was, so I grew up in the Bay Area, California, San Francisco Bay Area, and California drag racing was big. That was a big thing.
Okay.
And when you grow up poor, you got to work on your own cars. And so growing up, my dad worked on his own cars.
Right.
So I'd work with my dad working on cars and learn how to turn wrenches. So I was really good at turning wrenches. As I got a little bit older, my neighbor's son was a big NASCAR engine builder, and so he became my Superman. Okay. He was my mentor. NASCAR to me was like Hollywood. All these guys, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, the Rusty Wallace, all these names in racing. I mean, you live in Kannapolis, so you know these NASCAR names, and so I grew up seeing these guys, and they were my rock stars. And so my neighbor's son, he was a big engine builder, and that's what became my mentor to come to North Carolina. See, a lot of people that know me now don't know that my career started off as I was a NASCAR engine builder. So my career, there's not a machine in the machine shop that I can't run, from CNC equipment, spintrons, boring bars. I'm an engine builder by trade who was young and dumb enough to not know any better, and took a swing at being a NASCAR driver. And dude, that's how it began, Dude,
but you did it though.
Yeah, well,
was out there,
I tell people that my crossroads in life, growing up in California, like, I loved acting.
Right.
And so my crossroads was, I was either going to move to Hollywood to be an actor, or I was going to move to North Carolina to get into NASCAR.
But have you ever done that though?
Acting?
Have you ever done something in the movie or anything yet? You're not just some Joe, bro.
No, so I've done, short film stuff like that.
Okay.
But I also produced a TV show for Fox. So, yeah, man, there's a lot that you may not know.
It's a lot.
So I'm going to go down that path.
Okay.
You're going to have to jump on my bus, and we're going to go down this path.
All right.
So, when I flipped the coin after I got out of high school, I was like, all right, it's either Hollywood,
right,
or it's North Carolina. And so I chose NASCAR. And I moved out to North Carolina with a pocket full of cash and a pistol.
Right.
That's all my negotiating power. That's all I need.
How old were you when you moved out here?
I was 20.
You was 20. You were still young.
Yeah, still young. My wife at the time was pregnant with my daughter. So I left my daughter out west, before ever even meeting her, to come chase this dream, to establish I thought once she was born, like many families, like you have a child and it's like, man, now you got to be an adult.
Right.
And wherever you land is where you land.
Is where you landed.
So I moved to North Carolina, my pocket of cash, my pistol. Dude, there was nothing that I couldn't negotiate with those two things. You know, I was either going to buy my way out of a problem or shoot my way out of a problem. That was my mentality.
Right.
So got back here to chase the dream, and being mechanically inclined, you know, I knew I wanted to chase being a NASCAR engine builder.
That helped you out though a lot too.
Absolutely.
You know what
absolutely. You know, you and I talked about this. It's like, you know, when you've got the dream that you chase,
right,
which, you know, for me it's, you know, racing and music, you know, for you, music and video,
right,
you know, the having the technical talent behind the performer side makes you way more valuable. Way more valuable.
Because you know, now you don't have to worry about nobody else, bro.
Without a doubt. Look, a rapper is a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
A NASCAR driver, a dime a dozen. You know, the guy that can build his own race car, build his own engine, you know, work throughout the night, that's the rarity.
Right.
So, you know, moved out here, got a job working in an engine shop. I didn't think that I was going to be a NASCAR driver. You know, that was, my parents weren't rich. We grew up, you know, not wealthy.
Right.
Holes in my shoes, passing shoes down. You know, that was, you know, some blue light specials at Kmart. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so, driving was for rich kids.
Dude, yeah, because if you wreck that motherfucker, dog, it's over.
Right. Right.
I mean, some people's careers go down after they wreck because they can't come back from that.
You can't. It's either financially too much or you know, when you hit the wall at those speeds, man, it's TV makes this shit look way easier than it is. But it's the reality is you hit the wall and it fucking hurts. You know?
I know. Have you done hit the wall before?
Oh, many times. So that's, you know, ultimately.
You're fine. Go ahead.
You all right?
Yes, you're fine.
Oh.
Yes, you're fine.
I didn't see you spill that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the table is over top. Yeah, so, you know, man, it's like
hitting that wall, like you going, what, like you said, 200 plus, between 180 and 200
let's
plus.
say on average, some of the smaller tracks, you know, you're 150 to 200 miles an hour.
Dude, that's still fast. Hitting the fucking
still,
wall.
Yeah, man, it's like, you know, it's like taking a punch from prime Mike Tyson. You know, I mean, I've hit so hard that I've had a concussion, you know, from hitting the wall, which is no joke. I mean, but it's a scenario where, you know, being a race car driver, you're the tough guy. You try to ignore the when you get hurt. It's no different than, you know, NFL players that are.
So you don't have plenty of concussions out there. How many wrecks have you had? Let's go there.
I mean,
how many wrecks have you had?
It's like asking a boxer how many times he's been punched.
Right.
I mean, you can't play the game without crashing. It's just part of.
And none of this shit ever scared you.
No, I mean, you know,
to the point that you hit the wall and you was just like, bro, I'm not doing this no more.
No. So the point where the worst part of being a driver is when you know you're crashing,
all right,
but you haven't hit the wall yet. That moment between those 2 points where you go, fuck,
I'm about to have this.
Man, this is gonna suck. You know. Now, as a competitor, you know, you don't really think about death or anything like that. It's always it'll happen to somebody else. You know, it's like you go home, oh, my house ain't gonna catch on fire. That'll happen to somebody else. My car
could, it could.
Right, absolutely.
But it could.
But you don't think about that.
But you don't think about that. That's not the first thing you think about when you get in that car.
You're a man hustling a race car.
Right.
So that's your job is to hustle that race car, you know.
Dude, let me ask you this. Wrecking these cars, you done came out of pocket.
Yeah.
I know you done been in the millions.
I've
these cars. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Over the years,
over the years.
I've spent a lot of fucking money.
Ooh.
A lot of money I didn't have.
Ooh.
You know, it's drugs would have been way cheaper.
Drugs.
You know, in hindsight.
Fucking right.
In hindsight, if I could go back and it was just about economics,
right,
having a drug habit would have been way cheaper, way safer.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, man, ultimately, so I get when I stepped away from racing, you always get you always get the fans that don't understand some things,
Right.
and it's either Chris Lafferty, you sucked as a race car driver.
Okay.
I go, all right. I was the 36th. I was the 36th best driver in the fucking world.
Right.
But I sucked. All right.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
I'll be 36th, you know? Or their perception is, well, you got daddy's money because your name's on the side of the race car. And I'm like, listen, my dad didn't put one nickel into my racing. But what they don't really understand is, you know, I came from nothing. When I moved to North Carolina, I was homeless. So it's like, it's a scenario where I look at myself as the most blue collar person in racing or chasing a dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So kind of like you, it's like, you know, you got to work your 9 to 5 to pay bills. You're chasing the dream.
Right.
Look, yours was rapping, mine was racing. Ain't no different.
No, it's not.
But my story is, hey, I chased it and I got to this level, and it's meant to inspire anybody, any normal guy that is or was trying to chase their own dream.
Do it.
Does that make sense?
Do it, bro. Look at you, bro. You, like you said, you came from nothing. Some kid from California moving to fucking North Carolina. Who the fuck did you know here? You feel what I'm saying?
I knew one person. That was
one person.
Yeah, and it was
20 years old moving to, that's scary, bro.
knocking on
You feel what
doors.
I'm saying?
But listen, I had everything that I needed to negotiate with.
Right.
I had my pocket full of cash and my pistol.
You was like, bro, I'm good.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Bro,
I'm fine.
good.
And my motivation, and my motivation was my daughter. You know, so fast forward to today.
Dude, yeah, you and your daughter, bro, that's all I know. You feel what I'm saying?
Dude,
like,
we're in the tour bus business.
right.
We operate a fleet of 12 tour buses catering to some of the biggest names in music. My daughter is my partner in the business.
Are you serious?
So she's been with me from before she was born, motivating me to be better, you know. I mean, look, I was still young and a guy, so I'd go full retard on things and
you said, but you had her at like 20 years old.
Yeah,
19, 20.
20.
About
Yeah,
20 years?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, that is crazy. She been with you this whole, pretty much after you left California, you got settled in here. When was, because like I said, all I've ever known you for is to have your daughter with you.
Yeah.
So when did she actually come from Cali and actually be with you damn near full time?
Yeah. So her and her mom moved it. She was 6 months old. You know, we had insurance out there.
Right.
You know, and I was married to her mom at the time. And, you know, our plan was for me to get established here.
Okay.
For her to have Hannah out there because we had insurance.
All right.
And once Hannah was born and able to travel, then they would move back east. And that's what we did
So everything did plan out like that?
Yeah, everything worked out as planned. You know, she came back, built a house. I mean, you know, chased the dream, and you know, then life happens, right? You know, we got married young. You know,
High school sweetheart?
No, man, I was out of high school. You know, just out of high school when we met, and it was, you know, it was just a scenario where we clicked. She was the right girl. I mean, I wouldn't trade any of that for anything in the world because I got my best friend and my motivator, you know, and now I think she's my boss. I'm not sure how that works right now, but, you know, I think she's my boss now. But, you know, ultimately, you know, when you're young chasing a dream, you know, it's like I go back, you know, and I'm very open about everything. You know, I look back to, you know, 20 years ago when Hannah was young and, you know, her mom was hustling. I was chasing this dream, and man, I put her through hell because it's not easy chasing a dream with, you know, just blinders to chasing the dream, and and it's always, you know, it's always just out of reach. So it's like, you know,
I'm right there at the door.
You're right there.
Fucking shit ain't working.
Well, it's you're in the same room as, you know, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like, dude, we're right fucking there. It need one break to make it. you know, and so you can't give up because it's like
it's right there. If you were spots back there, you would say, "Fuck this, you know, I'm not doing this." But
you feel like you're so close,
right? So close,
right? But you know, the real world behind it is racing is a black hole of money, and it's like, you know, you put your friends and family through hell chasing that dream. You know, any dream chaser does that. You know?
Go broke.
You go broke. Absolutely.
Broke.
Like, I remember I was climbing down in my race car. I was at Iowa Speedway, and I was strapping in to qualify for the race.
Right.
And I remember thinking, man, if I don't qualify for this race, I won't make the money that I need. 1, to pay my mortgage.
Right.
2, to put fuel in the fucking semi to get from Iowa back to North Carolina. You know? So that's a bad...
And that cost the semi. So you paying for all of that too. The semi gas, you know, just gas driving in the car for the race.
Everything. Yeah. Hotel rooms, personnel, you know, people got to make money. People got to eat, you know? Now, that was in the era where we'd jam, you know, 5 to 8 people in a hotel room to save money. We would do what we had to do.
Right.
But it's still one of those scenarios where, you know, the shit is not cheap, you know, and so it's like, but you're so close that you can't give up.
You can't give up because it's, like I said, bro, I'm with you on it because even with the rap shit, and I was doing that shit. Like I tell some of you all the time, like, bro, we was this close.
Yeah.
And to give up at the peak of it, I got people even asking me now, like, why, bro? And I'm like, dude, I got family, I got shit to do.
Look, man, it's not giving up, and it's not, you know, failing at it. You know,
right.
it's taking the swing, you know. And I remember being in Loudon, New Hampshire. I'm going up in the spotter stand. It's me, another driver by the name of Wayne Edwards, and Brad Keselowski.
I know who Brad is. I heard that name.
We're in the elevator going up, and we're all sitting there going, fuck. It's like this is the end of the road. We're all basically, maybe not out of the business, but it's like there's no break to be had.
Right.
You know, and then
you done everything that you could.
Right. And the cards fell. Now, you know, Brad made it.
Yeah.
You know, after that, he caught some, you know, I never want to say luck, because luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Correct. So you give him credit for all the work that he put into it, and when the opportunity came, he capitalized.
Right.
You know, but others like myself, those same opportunities, just, you know, the dominoes just didn't fall in the right place. So out of that elevator ride to the spotter stand, one guy made it big.
Right.
And 2 of us, you know, we got some damn good stories to tell.
Right.
And we made it farther than 99% of people ever will.
Right.
In that industry. But it's one of those things where it's like, man, one break
would have just threw you over the roof, bro.
Yeah.
It would have threw you over the roof.
Absolutely. And I always felt like, I would tell people this, we always raced under budget. And so when the other teams were spending $3 million, we were lucky to spend $500,000 if we were lucky. And so it's like, I compare it to, you know, playing Major League Baseball, but the only thing they'll send you the plate with is a wiffle ball bat.
Dude.
But you're still getting on base.
Bro, listen. You still was there.
You
were there. Under budget, the whole 9. You feel like you just said, somebody spending $3 million, you're barely cracking 500,000, bro.
Yeah.
But with your knowledge, you know how to suit that motherfucker up.
You know, we definitely made it on talent, hustle, and just being too fucking dumb to quit.
Just
you know,
quit.
And that's what it comes down to.
Bankruptcy ever hit you? You ever get into that far?
Yeah, you know what? I filed bankruptcy one time. You know, again, I was young.
Right. You didn't know what the fuck.
Didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
The payday was always around the corner.
Right. That one break.
It was always right around the corner. And then it was one of those things where it was like, man, I need this for the race car. Let me put off my mortgage. I need this for the race car. Let me put off my mortgage.
Right.
You know? And then finally, it's like you've robbed Peter to pay Paul.
So much.
That now you're in this hole. And you got too much pride to go
and say, fuck it, I'm gonna lay down.
Right.
You're not laying down.
You're not laying down, but you're going, all right, what can I do to save my house, to, you know, but you're still that dreamer. So it's not like I didn't just wise up. I was like, oh, all I got to do is sign this paperwork and I can save my house.
I'm
Yeah,
about to
fuck
do
it.
that. Fuck it.
Yeah, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
But it didn't change. It wasn't like I got sat down and was like, all right, here's how you need to modify your business.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because here's the reality. I'm a really good business person now.
Then you was just young, bro.
Just young. But here's the fuckery of it all. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't give myself any advice. No, I wouldn't give myself any advice whatsoever, because the shit I did then was stupid, but it paved the way for who
now.
I am now.
Yeah.
But me now, I look back and I go, dude, that was fucking stupid.
Why did I do that?
Why did I do that? It was too much risk with not enough reward.
Right.
You know, so it's like, you know, that's why for me, and I try to tell young people this now that I'm like the older guy, I'm like, you can't. It's hard for young people to take advice from older people, you know. So it's like my position is, whatever your biggest fucking dream is, go after it.
Go after it.
Do everything as dumb as you can without hurting people.
Right.
But if I can give advice, it's, you know, let me help. You know, figure out the easier way to chase that dream versus just blindly chasing it. You know,
that's how I feel too with my shit, bro. Because we blindly chased it.
Yeah. So if you look back, you go, all right, I wouldn't tell myself not to chase it, but I would probably do this a little bit differently.
Correct, because that's like with the media group now. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're trying to do. So we sat down for months, planning this, and that's why right now it's so successful as it is, because we was just not shooting in the dark. Right,
but you have to spend time shooting in the dark in order to now be smart enough. You know, this is the shit that when people talk about, all right, I'm a huge Trump supporter.
Right. Okay.
And you get the people that talk shit. Oh, I can't believe he's filed bankruptcy. I go, wait a second. Here's the thing. If you haven't failed, then you haven't fucking tried.
And I've been there.
So as you gain success, you start taking swings at shit that, and I'll fast forward to tour bus business.
Okay.
The same week that I started my tour bus business, I opened a live music venue.
Right.
The same fucking week.
Yep. And that's the week, I think that same, like a month after I was there.
That's right. That is where we originally met, right?
That's where we met.
All right.
The venue.
So as I'm looking at the venue, I'm going, man, when I unlock that door, it costs me money. I'm not making money.
It does.
You know, I'm getting flack from the city.
Right.
But my tour bus business is starting to make money. So I got two things that I'm building, and the musicians in Charlotte, they were kind of dickheads, you know, pretentious dickheads, man. They didn't appreciate what somebody was trying to do for the music business, right? And so I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? The live music venue is not making me any money.
Right.
So I need to focus on this tour bus business. So I shut the doors on the live music venue, and I was like, dude, maybe I'll try it again later. Now, in retrospect, some shit talker who ain't never worked hard a day in their life would go, oh, you fucking failed at a live music business. I go, nah, it was a calculated decision not to put, you know, endless resources because another business was taking off.
Dude, I remember when we talked, and for some reason that night we connected, and we just kept talking. You said, bro, I'm not gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
And I said, really? You said, yeah, I'm about to drop that shit, and I'm about to do this damn tour bus shit because this is popping right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's when you're in business and you start, the blinders start coming off.
Right.
You know, we were talking about before we started filming, being in the Matrix, shit starts slowing down. You start seeing everything. You know, you can see the future, you can see the past, you see how decisions affect the future. You know, many days, months, years moving forward. And so for me, I was like, man, like, I don't want to fight for something that it just isn't there or not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
You know, and so for me it was
because you couldn't force people to go to the fucking venue.
No,
you couldn't force people to come from Charlotte down to fucking Concord. It just people just didn't want to travel, dude. They want it right at their convenience. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the ultimately it was
the location was great, bro.
Location was badass.
Location was great,
right? But I thought, the idea was. A lot of the local musicians, like they can't play at the Fillmore.
No.
Or they can't play at Amos's.
Music Pavilion.
They can't play there.
No.
So I was like, you know what? There's talent here. I'll do this. My tour bus business was getting me connections with good national acts.
Right.
My idea was, I was like, dude, I'll merge, introduce people.
Right.
And believe it or not, a lot of the local musicians, they give me shit for that. I was like, I'm trying to put people together.
Right.
And their response was, well, what if they don't want that? I go, well, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right. So the tour bus business filled a need for guys that are more appreciative, and there's money in this.
There's money in it.
So that's ultimately, going back to young self versus old self. And bankruptcy, failing in business versus success. I mean, dude, you can't be a boxer without getting punched in the face.
No,
it's just part of the deal.
Chris Lafferty, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, man, we're back.
Yes, sir, we are back. All right, so
what do you want to talk about now?
89 reasons.
All right. So, music has always been a huge part of my life.
Right.
And so the credit that I got to give, I got to give my mom and dad credit for who I am. Right. I mean, not just because they're my mom and dad,
right.
But if you knew my dad, my dad was he was a gearhead guy. Like fast cars, working on cars, stuff like that. So that's where I got my mechanical ability from.
Okay.
My mom, on the other hand, she's a music lover.
Oh, so she was the one that loved music.
Loved music. I mean, it was the from Michael Jackson to Billy Ocean.
Oh, she was playing all that.
Oh man, I grew up on some really good music, and so music has always been a part of my life. I mean, when I was racing, I would sing under caution. I would sing at the racetracks. I would before race weekends, get up on stage and go perform. So it was music for me. Was always a huge part of my life,
right.
And we were talking about this before we started recording. My cheat for being a good public speaker was I would go to the bars and go sing karaoke.
That helped you out a lot.
Helped me out tremendously because it put me up on stage. It was an outlet where you could start drinking to build the courage, and over the years of doing it, it used to start where I'd have to have 5 shots to get up on stage and sing.
Right.
Then it was 4. Then it was 3.
So you kind of like brought yourself down to a level where you can actually do this shit without it.
I can't function on stage with any alcohol at all.
Bro, that's the only way I'm getting it done.
I have to be so fucking sharp, man.
That's the only way I'm getting it done. I'm not going to perform right. Like, I'm not going to have the same energy. Like,
you can't, man. So, but it takes, there's a lot of performers that gotta be, have a few drinks or whatever, which
it just knocks off the fucking edge. It's not nothing.
To each their own.
Yeah.
But the competitor in me goes, all right, the sharper I can be, the drink takes the edge off.
Right.
And the edge,
right.
I gotta beat that edge. I gotta figure out how to take the blinders off.
If I could do that, I'm gonna perform 10 times better.
Man, everything's in slow motion to me now. So when I'm on stage, it's like I know what song I'm singing, I know what the band's doing. I'm seeing.
You're orchestrating this whole fucking shit.
I'm looking to see who's paying attention.
Right.
Looking in the balcony. Trying to figure out. Are they feeling the music? Where's the sound guy? Where's the So it's like. You're living in the Matrix now.
But when you're out there and you see somebody that's not feeling the music, did that discourage you a little bit? Like, did that tear you down, or you say, "Oh, okay, fuck him. I'm gonna skip past this motherfucker, and I'm going to the next motherfucker."
You definitely hone in on who's feeling it,
right?
And the ones that aren't, you're going, man, why aren't they feeling it?
Right. Because that's me. I'm like, why are you not liking this?
But you can't, like, I don't hinge my performance off of one guy,
Right.
you know? Yeah, it's, in some ways, you know, here's a competitor. The competitor in me wants everybody to be satisfied by the performance, right? But in reality, I mean, dude, you can't make everybody happy.
No.
You know, so I just do the best I fucking can. And if there's a couple people that are happy with it, then fuck the rest of them. You know, I mean, it's you know, it's kind of like what I was telling you earlier. Is I'm at a point now where I'm getting on stage. I'm gonna sing my song. If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
You know, I'm doing this for me. You know.
Yeah.
So circling back to when I was racing, singing. Now here's reality. When I was racing was a very, very difficult sport. And I was starting to get burnt out. You know, it was, my dream had now turned into the job. And I needed the dream to pay the bills, and it just wasn't fun anymore.
Right.
So I knew I was going to make my exit from racing. And I was just burnt out. I didn't love it anymore. I got to a point where I fucking hated racing. I absolutely fucking hated it. And so I woke up one day and I was like, man, if I hate the thing that I loved for so long, I just got to get away from it.
Right.
And so I had some friends in the music industry and struck a deal to take my band on tour with them. And so we loaded up and we went on tour opening for this band. And, you know, it was the lifestyle at that time that went with it. You know, I mean, you know, as a performer, it's like you perform, you're fucking getting hammered, drinking,
having a good time. It's a party.
Yeah, I'm a businessman. I'm not like.
So you didn't see that, like you was like, bro, I'm not trying to party.
It was a good time. I was there. You know, I was there to have a good time.
Right.
You know, but then, you know, I stopped and I was like, you know what? I don't want this to be my life, you know? I mean, I don't want to be a performer that is just getting off stage to go get hammered. And I was like, that's not what I want to be. And so at that moment, we had invested in some tour buses and started building this company, catering to touring musicians.
Okay.
And, you know, it got to a point where, you know, we're getting more buses.
All right.
People in the industry know who I am, which is pretty flattering. I'm a music lover.
Dude, I remember you started out with like fucking 4 buses at one time, and then you was like, dude, I'm about to try to get 15 of these motherfuckers.
But so here's the thing: when we first met, all I had was the mini buses that started out life as school buses that I painted to make work. You know, so it was all shitty. It was just doing what you got to do to keep the wheels rolling to learn the business. You know,
but you did it. Look where you're at now with this tour bus company. You know what I mean? Like you said when we was off camera, you literally tour some of the biggest people, bro.
Yeah, man. You know, so I've been fortunate with that, and to lead into what my band is doing, I have to tell some of the tour bus story.
It goes hand
in hand.
Yeah.
So basically, as I'm building my clientele, you know, my clientele is everybody from the guitarist John Five, who John Five is the guitarist for Motley Crue now.
Right.
He came from Rob Zombie.
Okay.
And he came from Marilyn Manson before that. So in the industry, he's a guitar legend. You know.
Right.
We've worked with, you know, several different rock bands, including Saliva, Saving Abel, Powerman 5000. You know, if you're into that music, you know who these guys are.
I know exactly who they are.
And I had taken a band out, older band, by the name of Three Dog Night. Now, these guys are, their heyday was in the 60s and 70s.
Because I'm like, bro, I don't know this shit at all.
You know, most people know the song that, you know, one is the loneliest number that you ever know.
Okay, yeah, that's a hit.
Everybody knows that song, right? So that's Three Dog Night that sings that. So I got a call from my friend who typically takes care of them, and his bus was messed up. And so he's like, hey, man, you gotta help me out on this. I was like, sure, man, I'll take him out. I'm a fan of the band.
Right.
So I took him out. We got along really well, and I'm going about my business. I'm out on tour with somebody else, and my phone is blowing up. I'm looking at it, and it's Three Dog Night tour manager.
Shit,
and I'm like, all right, I'll come back to this. And then the phone rings again, and it's Three Dog Night Management Company, and another guy, one of their touring guys. I'm like, man, they're really trying to get a hold of me.
And the answer is call.
And so I'm like, all right, you know, I park, I answer the phone, and I'm like, hey man, you're blowing me up. What's going on? They go, hey, Dogstar needs a bus, like right fucking now.
Oh shit.
I'm like, who's Dogstar? They go, this is Keanu Reeves' band. I go, Keanu Reeves? I didn't know he had a band, you know? And I didn't know it at the time. But, you know, Keanu Reeves is a global sensation.
Fucking right.
You know, the nice guy of Hollywood.
Right.
You know? And now, you know, one of the things that, you know, they always say, which I'm a huge movie fan, so by default, I love Keanu's movies.
Right.
And, you know, they always say, you don't want to meet your hero because you don't want to get disappointed. So I'm like, man, this guy's got such a good reputation for being a nice guy. And I'm like, I was a little nervous at that part. I'm like, man, what if he's not as nice?
What if he's a dick?
What if he's a dick?
What if he's a dick?
So I was like, all right, I'll take care of it. 2 months. It's going to be a 2-month deal.
Dude, I know you had that in your mind, though. What if he's a fucking dick?
Absolutely.
Because you know yourself, you're gonna be a prick back. Like, fuck you.
Listen, man, I don't kiss ass for nobody, you know, and it's like I give respect where I get respect.
That's
you know,
exactly
I don't care
right.
if you're sweeping the floor or driving the private jet. You know, it's like it all works hand in hand. So I'm out in LA with the bus, meet the guys. And first thing Keanu says to me, he walks up, he goes, hey, I'm Keanu. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. I'm like,
I know exactly what the fuck up.
So we get on the bus, and the other guys, Brett, the singer, we start chit-chatting, and you know, they had been told that I was a retired NASCAR driver.
Okay.
And the first things that he starts saying, he's making jokes. He's like, we really wanted a non-retired driver, you know, making jokes with me.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? These guys are going to be cool. So joking, having a good time. We spent a month on the road together. And we started talking about music. Now, when I drive down the road, I sing at night. That's just what I do. It helps my voice. And so, you know, Keanu had made comments about...
And you're driving the bus.
Yeah, I'm driving the bus.
Right.
You know, and, you know, the other thing to keep in mind is, you know, when you get certain clients like that, they can't just use any driver, an unvetted driver.
No, because they're fucking scared too at the same time, bro.
You know, they got to travel with security. There's weird fucking people out there that, you know, when I was racing, I was a B-list NASCAR guy.
Okay.
So it's not like I was getting noticed
right.
everywhere we went. You know, if I went to the mall, you didn't know who the fuck I was.
Right, you could walk around normal.
Right. Keanu can't go into public without somebody knowing who he is. You know.
No.
So it's just a different realm. It's just a different realm of the life somebody lives. So they travel differently.
Right.
But you know, after a month of you know, you're in close quarters, spending every moment of the day with these people, so you become close with them. And the opportunity to be the opening band for Dogstar in Charlotte was offered to me. And I was like, dude, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. Now, keep in mind, I hadn't been on stage.
And he came with you with that?
Yeah. I mean, you know,
right.
It wasn't
chain,
like
the chain. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in conversation. We were talking about that Charlotte show. You know,
and it just so happened to pop up, and you was just like,
listen,
dude, I'm fucking doing it.
I may have mentioned, shoot, I'd love to play that show.
Right.
You know, not thinking
anything of it's gonna happen. Right.
So, you know, Keanu comes to me and goes, hey, talk to management. You know, we'd love to have you open.
Do it.
I was like, dude, fuck yeah. So now, keep in mind, I hadn't played on stage. You know, so I was focusing on building the bus business.
The bus.
You know, so I hadn't played on stage in a few years, and so we're like, fuck it, we're gonna do it. You know, got my band back together, brought in a couple new guys, and we rehearsed. We went, played the Fillmore sold out show.
Get the fuck out of
opening for Keanu and his band.
Reeves. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Listen, man, it was, you know, my older brother's a huge Keanu fan, and he's standing there. My mom's down there, and they're just in disbelief, you know, because they don't, you know, it's not like a guy of that caliber just shows up,
pulls up, bro.
Right. So you know, it was when you ask, the question that you asked was, when you see somebody in the spectators, the audience, who's not feeling your music,
right.
You know, sometimes I stop and I go, well, you know, after we opened for Dogstar, Keanu runs up to me and goes, "Lafferty, you fucking rocked."
Oh, so it was a killer show.
It was a killer show. Sold out crowd. I mean, the show went great. So when I get that one fan that's not feeling it, I mean, I would like him to feel it.
Look, bro, hold up.
But I know we're good.
Hold up, bro, hold up. Look, you know, you driving, you know, 180 plus, and then you go do a crowd with Keanu Reeves. You feel what I'm saying, dude?
It's the same high.
I'm about to say, bro, it's your fucking butthole poker, and then like, fuck.
You know what?
Like, how you supposed to react to that type shit, bro?
I have always, everything that I've done in life, I'm not comfortable unless I'm in over my head.
Oh my God, dude,
does that make sense?
You was in over your head.
You know,
I'm telling you that now.
So,
when you walked up on
way
stage,
over
bro,
my
you was like, I know you was like,
look, I hadn't walked on stage in 2 years.
That's what I'm saying.
At least 2 years.
That's what I'm saying.
So it was a scenario where it's like, but I'm confident in my ability.
You was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it. I mean, look, if I fuck it up, then I'm forever known as the guy that fucked up opening for Keanu's band.
Question I got is,
did you
have a fucking drink?
No.
You were sober?
Fucking stone cold sober. Dude, I'm at a point in my life where...
Fucking A, bro.
You know, there's a couple things, you know. So my daughter's getting, you know, she's my partner in the bus business.
Correct.
And so, you know, being young, she's, you know, going out with her friends. And I told her, I said, look, I'm at a stage in my life, and you're at a stage at your life where we only drink when we're celebrating something.
Right.
But for me, so I'm also at a stage in my life where when I get on stage, that's still my business.
So you're up there acting like this is business.
This is business for me.
Business.
My job is to fucking blow you away.
Right.
Or do the best I can.
Right.
You know? And so put on the best show that I can. So that's what I'm going to do. And then, you know, so once we did that show, I get off stage and I'm like, man,
I can do
we
this.
can still do this.
I could do this shit.
You know, we can do this. So, you know, we used our cheat code. And, you know, earlier this year, one of my clients is a guy by the name of Glenn Hughes.
Okay.
Who, another old band called Deep Purple.
Okay.
You know the song Smoke on the Water? Smoke on the water.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
I actually do, bro. I cycle to
know.
that. I cycle to this fucking song, man.
Listen, man, that's
It's fucking crazy, bro. I cycle to this shit.
So everybody knows that song, right? So Glenn Hughes, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? He's one of my clients. He leases buses from me.
What the fuck?
And so I was visiting, let me think of how this went. They were coming through town somewhere in Georgia or South Carolina. I went down to visit with them, you know, do the politicking. One of my drivers was on the job.
Right.
And I got talking to the tour manager, and he says, hey, we're booking the next tour. It's going to be September. We're trying to figure out who the opening act is going to be. I go, well, fuck, you got the opening act. Me. And he kind of laughs it off. And my driver goes, I don't think Chris is fucking around. I think he's serious. I go, yeah, I'm serious. So you know, so they agreed to it. He took it back to Glenn, and Glenn was all about it. He's like, hey, yeah, man, that would be cool.
Legend.
So it's, you know, this guy's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Legend.
Man. It's legendary.
Yeah.
You know, so we spent a month out on the road with Glenn opening for his band, which, you know, I have to say, being in the music industry,
Right.
there's a lot of people that, you know, you have very shallow relationships with people because it's just business.
Definitely.
Right?
It's just business.
But these guys, Glenn, his band, his crew, man, you know, it was the greatest experience having guys that were that cool, that welcoming. You know, we would get on stage for sound check, and if our gear wasn't quite right, they were coming to help us.
So nobody was being dicks.
No dicks at all, man. It was a great experience. And then, you know, for me, walking on stage, knowing that I'm opening for a guy of that caliber.
Dude, legends.
Legend. It's...
You went from fucking NASCAR to fucking opening rock bands for, you know, shows for rock bands to the legend people, dude. Like, what the
You know, it was... So Glenn tours under his name. He's no longer with Deep Purple.
Okay.
So he travels, you know, Glenn Hughes.
But he still sells out shows.
Oh, it does well. So this is a transition from the original run of my band.
Okay.
Was under the label 89 Reasons.
Okay.
I drove the 89 truck in the NASCAR Truck Series, so my band was 89 Reasons.
All right.
However, there was a layer of, you know, my gimmick is that I race NASCAR.
Right.
Right. That's no secret.
Yeah.
My gimmick is my gimmick, and that's I'm going to use that to get eyeballs. That's what I have.
Let me ask you this: so people with the NASCAR community didn't know that you actually did the singing?
Some did, and some didn't. But, you know, the ones that did,
they fucked
knew.
with it.
They fucked with it.
Right.
But the ones that didn't, you got a band called 89 Reasons. Where's the connection to NASCAR? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So there was a layer. Now the business person in me,
right?
And this is 1,000% non-ego driven. I was like, all right, you know, there's a layer of interference between NASCAR and Chris Lafferty, and it's called 89 Reasons. So when we booked the tour with Glenn Hughes,
yeah,
booking agent calls me and goes, hey, you know, 89 Reasons. I go, you know what? I go, I think we're going to do this tour as Chris Lafferty. We're just going to drop the 89 Reasons. Because
why didn't you start with that in the first place?
I didn't know any better.
Like, your name was already popping.
It's you know, you think about you know, it wasn't just about me. It was, you know, there was the band.
It was the other guys, and
yeah.
Sure. But
And
still,
it
at
was,
the same time, out of all those guys, bro, your name still rang bells completely over
without
everybody.
a doubt.
Okay, so why the fuck not start with Chris Lafferty?
It was just a different time. I'm smarter business now.
Right.
Then it was just a different, to be in a rock band, it had to have a cool name.
Dude, you probably would have blew up already.
You know what? I don't think so. So here's I talked to, and I'll tell you why. So me and my guitarist, he's been with me since the beginning, and we talk about this often. The first go round, basically 10 years ago, you know, I didn't have the bus business, or it wasn't successful, and so as you know,
right,
it's cubic dollars that build success.
Right.
You know, sustainability. You got to get out with the right people.
Yep.
You've got to get on the right tours.
Sure.
You know, and it takes money and backing to do that. In the 89 Reasons era, I didn't have the money or the backing to do it.
So if you would have stopped, say, NASCAR just a little bit earlier and had that money, you think that the trajectory would have been different?
No, because my mindset was different as well.
Mindset was different.
Yeah, because it was still, I didn't know, you know, we were talking about camera gear and stuff, you know,
right.
And sometimes you got to travel down the wrong path to know that it's the wrong path, you know? And so my trajectory going out and playing under the 89 Reasons banner, which I still, if I go play rock music, I will probably still use the 89 Reasons.
Okay.
Because, you know, in mainstream rock, there's not a whole lot of people that's just using their name.
No, it's not.
If I'm going classic rock or country, then I'm just going to use my name.
I was going to ask you, why haven't you ever done country music, though?
I do. So part of our set is and was meant to be country music. Look, one of the songs that people like the most is our rendition of a Garth Brooks song.
Get the fuck out of here.
However, here's the fucked up part, you know, so
let me ask you, let me make sure I'm right. Garth Brooks is the guy that sings that Who the fuck sings that song? All My Exes Live in Texas.
No, that's a different white guy.
Who the fuck is that?
That's a different white guy.
Who the fuck is that though?
You're showing your skin color, man.
I know, but who the fuck is that?
All My Exes Live in Texas.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Is that George Strait?
It is George Strait.
Yeah.
It is fucking George Strait.
Different white guy.
Okay,
still.
all right.
They both wear cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
I'm trying to get there. All right,
yeah.
Bring me there.
Yeah. So, you know, I like country music.
Right.
Now, I grew up in Northern California, Bay Area.
I fuck with that shit, bro. The country music. But even growing up in Northern California, y'all listen to country music out there too?
So here's the thing. Dude, I got heavy rap influences.
Okay.
Man, I grew up on E40 and Too Short.
Yes, I'm about to say the Bay Area. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I grew up on. However, I also loved Garth Brooks back then too.
Okay.
So I'm a music lover.
Right.
You know, I can get down with any music. You bring any music from Motown to the Memphis Blues, I'm in
You're gonna
it.
fuck with it.
You know? But so as I'm getting older, I'm like, all right, from a business standpoint, you know, it is, I think the trajectory is smarter having country music in my arsenal.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, rock music, unless you're very well established, is a young guy's game.
Right.
You know? And as I get a little bit older, I give a fuck less about like I don't need fame. I don't need.
So you're not chasing that bug.
I'm not chasing that. If it comes, that's cool.
Right.
I'm chasing the business.
Okay.
The only reason fame is important to me, because the business side of me goes, man, there's a lot I could do with that fame. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, so that's the ego. The ego part of it is gone. Now, I love getting on stage. I love performing, but it's not about.
Oh, I gotta get the fame. Oh, I gotta get 1 million views.
Yeah.
Or I gotta be.
Go look at my social media. I give a shit less about social media. Yeah,
I already know.
It's like I have no. You know, it's a necessary evil, but it's not my thing.
It's not your priority, bro. Like, you actually get up there and actually enjoy doing what you're doing. You're not fucking around. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if you was up there and you just like, man, this is fucking work. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
I don't
dude,
feel like
I'm
doing
loving
this shit.
I'm
but you
loving
actually
this.
love doing this.
Yeah.
Why? Let me ask you this. Why don't you do more country music?
I'm glad you asked that. So I know there's more country in my future. Right. So before this tour, you know, I'm thinking, all right, Glenn Hughes, he's in his 70s.
Yes.
Man, he's probably phoning this in.
Right.
This will be good. I'm gonna have to do some country just not to blow him off the stage. That's what I was thinking.
Right.
But then I realized I was opening for Glenn fucking Hughes.
Blow him off the fucking stage.
No.
That's how I feel. Blow his ass.
Listen, man.
Off.
Listen, this just because he's fucking 70, this guy sings like he's got a brand new voice.
Are you fucking with me?
So I came to the first show with 2 of my songs, acoustic, country feel. And after the first show, I went to the guys. I was like, dude, we got to bring this shit harder or he's going to kill us every
Oh, he was
fucking
skunking
night.
y'all the whole time, dude.
Dude, my jaw hit the ground every day because this motherfucker sings so good.
At 70 years old,
At 70 years
got
old,
the horn?
dude, I can't explain the notes that he can hit. He can hit notes that, you know, there's a lot of musicians that can't hit those notes that he can hit.
Chris, where can they find you? Not just the band, but you, Chris Lafferty.
All right, so on the World Wide Web, LaffertyMotorsports.net.
Okay.
ChrisLaffertyMusic.com.
Okay.
You know, Facebook, Instagram, I've got my profiles, my personal stuff. I've got my music stuff, my racing stuff. You know, you just search it, you can find me. I'm not hard to find.
Okay.
You know?
Chris, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And we're going to definitely do another interview with you soon on OGS Media Group. And I'm glad that you took the time out with us, man. You have a hell of a story. And, bro, it was a very much good pleasure to be sitting here talking to you about this right now, bro.
Dude, it's always nice. We've been boys for a long time.
You already know. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.